Hello, my name is Rachel Lovesey and I'm the Head of Patient Experience and Engagement from Northampton General Hospital. And this is my colleague.
Hi. My name is Vijay. I'm a ward sister for Northampton General Hospital.
So what are we talking about today then? So we're going to be talking about our recipe as such, and as we go through it, we have done it a bit like a recipe basically for success with regards to compliments. And I think this sums it up nicely. The work that we've undertaken is all about ensuring staff are made aware of the compliments, praise and recognition that they receive from patients every single day. I think that we spend a lot of time looking at the negative information that we get back from our patient feedback. What are we doing about it? What are we doing about it? When actually the vast majority of the information that we receive actually is very, very positive. And we were keen at NGH that we would share and collate that positive information for our staff. I think this is always a good question to ask ourselves. Why are we doing the things that we do? And I think this sums it up really well. From Richard Branson. I've always believed that the way you treat your employees is the way they will treat your customers, or obviously in our instance, patients, carers, families, and that people flourish when they are praised. So basically, we've done a project around Think Staff, Talk Patients, where we've put all of our efforts into our staff. As we've discussed lots and lots today, we've heard lots of people talking about the link between happy staff equals happy patients, and we really truly believe that at NGH, and we've really seen the power of that. So we've focused over the past year very heavily on staff praise, recognition, well-being and engagement, and today we're going to focus on praise and recognition, which it's a little bit cheesy, I know, but it's just one page in the recipe book of the work that we've been doing. So what's the ingredients? We receive feedback in so many different ways now. Whenever I'm talking to anybody within the hospital, I say, can you tell me what are the different ways? And obviously friends and family tests, national surveys. But then when we get thinking about it, there's online reviews, there's Facebook posts, there's tweets, even Google reviews. People can, if you're on the map, patients can leave reviews on Google reviews. We have feedback coming from everywhere now. It's so important, obviously, to pull all of that information in. We get letters into our chief exec, we get letters to PALs, we get cards, obviously, that go directly to the wards. There's such a wealth of information. And can we be sure that all of our staff are seeing it and that they're feeling that recognition? So obviously, if we chuck all of that into our big mixing pot, we basically sent out a blanket message across the organisation and said, anything that you receive in that you're proud of, any cards, if you get a box of chockies, if you have an email from somebody, send it to us. Send it to the patient experience team. And then mixed in with that, we did the same with PALS and with Chief Exec's office and said, send it all to us. We want to receive everything into us. I should add, it is only myself and my assistant that works 4 hours a day, so this has been quite challenging, but in a very positive way. We then extracted all of the comments, which we do anyway for the FFT, and people, we theme our negatives, but we don't theme our positives, and people often say, why not? And I say, because there's 7,500 of them every single month. We don't want to lose that information, so this seemed perfect. At least we can still pull in that information. And then obviously all of our online reviews and our tweets as well. Put it all into that mixing pot. And we developed basically a spreadsheet, a database set up for each division, and we basically record all of the numbers. There is nothing scientific about it whatsoever. It is literally just a place for us to record positive feedback. We obviously can't be sure everyone's sending us everything. I'm sure that they're probably not. But obviously, as the year has grown, this has built much more strength. And when we send this out, the response that we got, I was quite surprised. People love it. I'm jumping though. We're going to get to that bit in a minute. And then I basically email it out to everybody, send it out, everybody share it far and wide, and then I include some of the information. I particularly like including the tweets because obviously you get the @ symbol, and I just think you can feel where that's coming from, and you can feel that that's somebody speaking. So yeah, there's just some examples. I'm going to hand over to Vijay.
Hi. We have a beautiful system in place in NGH. Whenever our CEO receives a compliment or a letter to her directly, and she sends out a thank you card and a reply to the sender, not only to the sender, with this card, and a copy of that letter comes to whichever the clinical person or a clinical area as well. Also, she tweets and she puts that in the Facebooks as well, which we, our staff, proudly shares it, and even the families, we get lots of comments about prices about their work as well. Our chief executive officers, director of nursing, medical directors, they are all very familiar to all of our staff members. They often visit our clinical areas, have a chat with the patients and the staff members, which made them feel very recognized and very encouraged as well. Our director of nursing and quality maintenance, they all are our regular faces in all our developmental programs, study days, and forums. So we all know very well each other. So this is a big surprise for us this last nursing day. We celebrate nursing, and this was the big surprise, as I said, a custom-made card gone to every clinical area last Nurses Day with 2 yummy cakes, which is delivered by our Director of Nursing and Assistant Director of Nursing, saying, and thank you to all the staff for the wonderful job they were doing. You can see a little heart in there, which was all silver covered and scratchable one. When we scratched, each heart just was hiding a beautiful message from our patients who's written about each ward areas, which was a big surprise for us. We had a big celebration on Nurses Day. Then staff were like praised, thank you. We had little pampering treatments like massages and all kind of things. We celebrated nursing.
So another thing that we do as well is our compliments Christmas tree, and we've done this for 3 years now, and we've actually ended up with 2 of them because it was so popular. And basically the baubles that you can see, some of the messages within those were actually from our friends and family test. So the positive compliments that we got from there, we wrote them onto some of the cards, and then we also had blank baubles that were available for people to complete, and we got so many of them. And obviously we made sure that we shared them with all of our staff as well, so we sent them all out so people could see. And voila, so what happened next? So obviously we sent out an email to everybody, and the reaction has been amazing. Every single month now I'm receiving in endless cards and emails and letters from people, and here's just some examples of the different people that are sending me stuff. I've got a consultant secretary there that sent me some information, lots of our ward sisters coming in from ITU. It's just been amazing. The reaction has been fantastic, and that's actually a picture of just some of the cards that we've received in. And it's so nice for me as well, because I get to look at all those cards, and particularly ones from the children's units as well. Some of the cards are just fantastic. And we've also obviously had a very positive reaction to this, and obviously a slice of healthy competition has emerged as well, particularly when you start sticking numbers into a spreadsheet. People get very competitive over that. And the one at the 2 at the bottom in particular is literally from a couple of weeks ago. 911 for eyes, well done team. And the reaction was, you are likely to get twice as many compliments as everybody else. Since most people have 2 eyes, it's not fair. And that was a couple of our consultants, a little bit of banter between them, but it did actually make me laugh out loud in my office. We've got a ward that's now set up a display with their thank you cards. And then we've got one of our students that received one of our chief executive cards, tweeted about it and said, oh, I'm so happy, I wouldn't do anything else. So the reaction has been very positive. And we all like to look at numbers, don't we? Everybody must be familiar with the friends and family test if you're sitting in this room. We've seen such a massive change. Obviously, we cannot attribute it all to what I'm talking about today, but we have put so much focus into staff engagement in general. And that's not only all of the positivity, but also driving information to the frontline teams, ensuring that they have the information to be able to make change. And as you can see, at one point, for inpatient and day case areas, we were very far into that national level, and we were getting a bit shaky knees and what we're going to do. And this focus has meant that we actually had to rebase our mean very recently because we jumped so much higher, and our highest ever percentage for inpatient and day case area is at 94.1%, and we were absolutely ecstatic with that. But we continue to climb and continue to develop. But obviously it's nice to see this actually impacting through our patient satisfaction. And there's the link. Happy staff, happy patients. So what next? The icing on the cake. We've got a couple of other things that we're going to be doing. We've developed something called Recognition Bingo, which is all based around our 101 words of recognition. And these posters are actually going to be going up throughout the organisation to encourage staff to praise each other. Here's some of the words that you might want to use for each other. And then our bingo is like an opportunity to actually use them and perhaps win a prize. I did this at a training day, and we had, it's really cheesy, you can tell I'm cheesy, we had a fish in there, and we had fish for a compliment. You had to read it out, and then we played bingo for chocolate, basically, which is not probably very in line with our well-being, health and well-being, but anyway, it went down very well. So just to conclude, I really like this. If you look after your staff, they'll look after your customers. It's that simple. That's it. Do you want to add anything? Thank you.